The preseason trials in Bahrain unveiled a wealth of information about the teams, their car designs, and the most striking detail was the configuration of the rear wing. Teams such as McLaren and Ferrari appear to have further exploited the mini DRS trick after all the controversy that occurred in the previous year. With this in mind, stricter regulations are expected to be imposed after an anonymous team principal commented on the situation, predicting impacts on the driver's performance. There is no doubt that the 2025 Formula One season is shaping up to be not only the most competitive, but also the most controversial in recent years. Following the debates over the flexibility of the front wings, the FIA now finds itself under intense scrutiny and may face challenges when revisiting a maneuver they thought had been eliminated after the McLaren Grand Prix in Japan, the mini DRS. Before the regulatory body implemented the new guidelines, it was clearly visible that the rear wing would open under certain aerodynamic loads, thereby reducing drag on the straights and resulting in a higher top speed. This was the reason why Piastri's second career victory was shrouded in so much controversy, and the FIA's decision appeared to be an adequate response until the pre-season trials in Bahrain. According to the new guidelines set by the FIA, the width of the slot opening was reduced from 10 to 15 mm to 9.4 to 13 mm, while maintaining the limit of 85 mm when the DRS is activated. In addition, a new regulation now stipulates that the structure of the drag reduction system must remain entirely open or closed, ruling out the possibility of a gradual opening. This aspect was expected by the other teams to be the definitive solution for the mini DRS. Yet the 3 days of trials in Bahrain demonstrated that the reality may differ. An anonymous team principal spoke to the website The Race, expressing concerns that the problem might reoccur much earlier than anticipated. And, although the regulatory body cannot intervene during the pre-season trials, it may penalize teams from the first race onward. The team principal's remarks are quite alarming, as an examination of the videos revealed that some rear wings appeared to be excessively flexible, an issue that is being closely monitored. This practice does not align with Article 310.10 of the Formula One Technical Regulations, which explicitly specifies the parts exempt from this rule, stating that except in the event of a DRS failure or during the transition between positions, the configuration of the DRS must remain unchanged before and after each development stage. The time for switching between the two positions must be less than 400 milliseconds, and although these accusations cannot yet be proven until the first race takes place, it is an issue that the regulatory body will have to resolve sooner or later. The technical director of Red Bull, Pérez, has been speaking openly about the flexibility of the rear wings, stating that there are two teams which, in his opinion, are still benefiting from the mini DRS trick even after its prohibition in 2024. On this matter, was commented that teams are testing the limits of the rules and that the mini DRS remains in operation. According to him, Ferrari and McLaren continue to employ this tactic. In contrast, there are teams such as Red Bull itself that foresee a significant drop in performance, even while launching updates during the pre-season trials. A rather unusual practice for a team. Although they have gained important insights from the RB21, the inherited challenges still seem to be significantly affecting the car's performance, leading to the possibility of adopting strategies already tested by other teams rather than focusing solely on their internal issues. For drivers Verstappen and Lawson, it has become evident that the departure of Adrian Newey impacted the team more deeply than anticipated, as, although they defend the notion that success did not depend solely on one individual, the central role played by the British engineer in the car's development is undeniable. Much work remains to be done, and the teams will undoubtedly benefit from extra wind tunnel time to fine-tune the aerodynamic problem. These adjustments may prove decisive in extracting additional performance from the car. And whether one likes it or not, the issue at Red Bull is complex, with no immediate solution in sight. According to internal reports, the team believes that it will not be competing for victories starting with the Grand Prix in Australia, but this does not imply that they will cease progressing immediately. Behind the scenes at Red Bull, there is a conviction that the car is performing considerably better than the previous year. which, on the other hand, indicates that they still need to gauge the progress made by teams such as McLaren and Ferrari. Judging by the pace of the MCL 39 during the pre-season trials, there are indications that Verstappen might not be among the favorites to win, even if he has the third fastest car. Nonetheless, WAS believes that as the season progresses, a significant problem will arise, since the legality of the FIA regulations remains a great unknown. Throughout 2024, numerous uncertainties emerged regarding what is permitted and what is not, leading teams to find a balance point to maximize performance within the rule. Unfortunately for Red Bull, it might be that they have not discovered the ideal solution for this issue, which has sparked this debate. Moreover, this situation represents an even greater dilemma for the team, as it could mean that Verstappen's car will not be capable of winning races, thereby seriously jeopardizing the driver's future with the Austrian team. This is the last obstacle that Red Bull needs before the start of the new season, especially amid genuine concerns about the new power unit and the restructuring of the team for the future. The results obtained during the pre-season trials do not favor Red Bull, as technical director Pérez admitted that the tests did not go as planned and that the car presented unforeseen issues even before hitting the track. He explained that the trials were not as calm as the team had anticipated, but it is better to identify problems at this stage rather than later. That is the purpose of the trials, to understand the car's behavior. I am not as satisfied as I had hoped, because the car did not always respond as we wanted. We are moving in the right direction, but perhaps not at the intensity we expected, he stressed, emphasizing the need for improvements for the first race and future development. This sentiment was shared by Verstappen, who, although he avoided using very strong words about the car's performance, mentioned that there is a great deal of work to be done in the coming weeks if they want to contend for the championship. The four-time world champion emphasized that the team's performance could drop drastically if they continue on the same development curve as in 2024. Adding that although the performance was not bad, there are still challenges to overcome. He concluded that by the time they reach Melbourne, they hope to have learned more by analyzing all the data and assessing their current position. And although it is difficult to judge the pace of each team at this moment, there is undoubtedly much work to be done. Regardless of Red Bull's feelings about their car, it is undeniable that their development progress has been surpassed by McLaren and Ferrari, and placing all hopes on the FIA regulations regarding rear-wing flexibility appears to be a dubious strategy. Thus, it will be intriguing to observe how the 2025 season unfolds, how the teams will respond to the final cycle under this set of rules, and more importantly, whether they will manage to make significant progress compared to the previous year. The issue of the rear wing will remain a topic of debate for a long time, and it now seems that it is not only McLaren that will face criticism from the rest of the grid, since Ferrari is also at the center of this controversy.